So I'm doing a study in humility, and I'm defining humility as accepting and submitting without resistance to the will of God, not regarding others as inferior, enduring injury with patience and without resentment, being easily teachable, and not seeking praise are the aspects of humility that I'm defining as humility. And as part of this study, I am listing 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. And I say a prayer at some point in the day, thanking God for these things. The things that I have for today is the ability to care for others. I have children, I have pets, and I'm grateful that God's given me the opportunity and the capacity to care for other living creatures. And because it gives my life meaning and it gives it satisfaction. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the snow. It's snowing. It snowed last night and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And yeah, it's the beauty of God's creations. So I'm grateful for snow. And I'm grateful for revelation and inspiration that's been given to humanity throughout time. I'm reading the Harvard Classics as part of a different thing, and so I've read the Journal of John Woolman, and I've read Socrates, and I've been struck by how often they talk about divine communications, how God, lots of what they're doing is what they feel like God wants them to do, that God has communicated with them to do, and they've made great changes in the world. And I feel like God does speak to people. And he does reveal things, and he does change the world, and he does inspire people to do great things. So that's something I'm grateful for. The verse today about humility is in Psalms. It's Psalms 35, and the context of this is that David is talking about his enemies, talking about people who are false witnesses. So I'll read it to you. I'll start in verse 11. Psalm 35, verses 11 through 14. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into my own bosom. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or my brother. I bowed down heavily as the one that mourneth for his mother. And just in this psalm is expressed the aspect of humility of not regarding yourself as superior to other people, even your enemies, even if someone is cruel to you. In this psalm, at least, David is expressing that you should view them as humans, and you should pray for them when they're sick and care about them. This later becomes David's downfall when he doesn't view Uriah as equal to himself, and has him killed. That is part of David's downfall. So that aspect of humility of not regarding others as inferior to you, either morally or in other ways, I think is an important aspect of humility, and I think it brings us closer to God.